Happy Wednesday. How are you guys doing on this amazing wind down Wednesday? Midweek, and the week is just jumping for me. OMG, because I've been away, and I swear it just seems like I can't believe it's already Wednesday. I can't believe. I don't know where time has gone. And not only that, we're March 22nd, 27th. I'm sorry, 27th, which means we are almost at the end of the first quarter of the year. I kid you not. I feel like I just blinked and we went from Happy New Year to first quarter being gone. But I am glad you have stuck with us through the blink of 2024 and join us here on Wednesday evenings at Get to Know Bob, where I am so delighted to be your host, Sonia M. Weaver, where we have this amazing platform and we speak to some phenomenal Bobs across our Metro Detroit area and throughout the U.S. as well. I am really looking forward to when we really start traveling. I haven't really decided if that's going to wind up being this year. 2024 was the target year, but maybe it'll be 2025 because there's so much going on right here that I have to have my attention on and do with excellence, that I don't want to jump the gun just because I'm excited about, moving around the US. But we'll see what happens. You never know, right? You never know. Tonight's show is going to be an amazing show. Tonight's show is the Tax Toolbox. The Tax Toolbox. Pro tips for tax time. And by it being the end of March, tax season is coming fast to an end. Are you ready for it? You might be like me, where, I have an appointment scheduled for this week, fitting it in, making the deadline. And there are some things, believe it or not, that I hear at least going on now that wasn't going on in the beginning of tax season. So sometimes it's okay to be a procrastinator. You never know what advantages might come your way. So get excited about this conversation we'll be about to have. But before we go into that, I got to give you the recap of what kind of went on in my life while I was away. So you guys know I always love supporting Bob. And during February, I'm not sure if I mentioned that I was part of BUF of Michigan, Black United Funding of Michigan, a Black History event where I was like, did the production behind the scenes. That was not going to be my initial role in the event, but because of my platform here with Get to Know Bob, it was something I was quite capable of doing, and helped the whole live Black History show go off without a hitch. So I was very proud of that. Also, very proud of my new role in BUF of Michigan as the Director of Development and Strategic Relations. I know that is a mouthful, but it is a very, very exciting role within the organization. I'm really excited about the work that I will be doing, working directly with the CEO of that organization. So kind of one of the reasons why I said I might have to hold off on the travel piece of it, because it's going to be an exciting year with BUF. And then there's more things coming throughout the show. I also participated in this year's That Girls Award for 2024. So we had recognized men and women this year for That Girl and That Guy. And if you notice, I had a post. So here we are with some of the splits of, it was so many people that was recognized. I had the phenomenal duty, or I could say honor, the phenomenal honor of presenting this year. And I presented to Chief James Harris. I also presented to Kenneth Donaldson, as well as Kimberly. And I apologize, Kim, for not remembering your last name, because I call you Kim for forever, who is the Jane of all trades, do phenomenal events and bar and food and everything, and actually even promote any promote talent as well. So she's just a Jane of all trades. You notice that Raphael Wright was recognized. He has the amazing grocery store in our neighborhoods, first Black grocery store in that area. We recognize Gail Perry Mason, Michelle Lano, Jaja. Just a number of people were actually recognized at that. And if I try to remember everybody's name, I won't. So forgive me on that. But it was a great event for that girl, as well as the recognition came from Little Caesars Arena. And that's where it was held for the Detroit Pistons, honoring the work these people are doing within our community. Just phenomenal work. What else happened? The Celebration of Women event, March Celebration History Month. So as you can see, yes, I have a beautiful, beautiful charm bracelet created at Linked. And I didn't get a chance to post everything that was on it. The first one that I did mention was Fearless, because Fearless was the first one that I actually chose for my bracelet. And I chose Fearless because fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. And I need a reminder of that, and to always go into any new situation fearlessly, right? No fear. I may have some concerns, and there, it's like even do it afraid, but not fear. It's a difference. Fear can immobilize you and keep you from doing something, right? So I had to make sure that I'm fearless. I put beautiful. I don't know. It's something that came into my spirit lately. It's not been like immediately lately, but it's been lately. And I'll be talking to people, or send a message, and it's like, hey, beautiful. And that's just was feeling like, the world is such a beautiful place. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of messed up stuff happening in it. But when you look at nature in its purity, even with snow, right? When snow falls, before we step in and all that crazy stuff, it's just beautiful. Seeing it on the trees, watching leaves bud on the trees, and just full colors during the fall. It's just simply beautiful. And then we have such a beauty within us, all of us. And so I just wanted to remind people, just the world is still beautiful, and you are too. So I guess I needed that reminder myself for now and then, right? So I put it on my charm bracelet. I have follow your heart. Yeah, unapologetically follow your heart. Too many times we're following someone else's agenda that doesn't line up with our own. So follow your heart. I had to remember that. Believe kind of goes again with the fearless. Believe in myself, believe in others. It's just that reminder there. This one says, find joy in the journey. Sometimes I forget that. I got my eyes set on that goal, that endpoint. And so I'll get these wonderful, rewards along the way, but yet I don't stop and celebrate them. So I had to remind myself to find joy in the journey, celebrate all of the wins along the way. Never, never give up. Oh, yes. The days of an entrepreneur can definitely have you feeling like I'm done with this, right? So that's why I love this platform, because it can bring on like-minded people who have gone through that feelings of like, you know what, I'm done. This is too much. It's overwhelming. I'm sick of it. It just seems stressful, all kinds of stuff, right? But I had to remind myself to never, never give up, because truly my goals are worth the fight. My goals are worth the sacrifice, and my goals are worth sometimes the aches and the pains, because the reward on the other side is so much greater. So yeah, if you have not participated and created your own affirmation bracelet for 2024, I'm going to encourage you to look out for additional events that are open by Linked, or consider having your own, because the affirmation bracelet has been so powerful. So many people have given testimonies at the event of why they chose what they chose. And I'm telling you, it is a phenomenal reminder just to carry this with you and to look down right when you need to. It never fails. In that moment, you'll look down and there'll be something here to remind you just why you do what you do, and to affirm yourself every single day. Then I went to Puerto Rico. I needed a break from all of this work and it was phenomenal. So I am back in full effect and ready to go and have some conversations this evening. So we are not going to belay the moment any longer. I'm going to remind you, however, to go and check the episode on February 28th if you haven't done so, where we had an amazing conversation with Monica Hamlet, of course, known as Mona Lisa. And it was just a phenomenal conversation with her. We talked about how you have to pivot sometime in business, how things that, you birth a business and it becomes so part of you that sometimes when you make that pivot, it's difficult to do so. So all my entrepreneurs out there, you might be experiencing that now, or you may need to make a pivot. Make sure you watch that episode. On tonight, we're going to be having a conversation with the phenomenal Camilla Franklin. She is a EA. We're going to find out what that means, and we're going to introduce and allow her to come on.
Good. How you doing? Are you able to hear me?
I am. I am.
Good, good.
I
I'm
am
doing
doing
pretty
well.
good.
How
Good.
are you?
Doing well. Doing well.
Awesome, awesome.
Mhm.
Before you get into your introductions, I want to say hello to Ten. Hi, how are you doing? He said,
Oh,
all
hey,
praises
Ken.
due to the Almighty and
Yes.
congratulations. Thank you for joining. We look forward to your engagement throughout the show. So, welcome back, Camilla.
Thank you.
I
Glad to be
appreciate
back.
you
Glad to be
being here.
back.
And
Appreciate
for
you always
those
offering.
watching, the reason why I say welcome back is because Camilla has been on our show before. She was on the show in March 16th of 2022. Wow, that's a couple years ago. And then last
Wow.
year, February 22nd of 2023. And so on today, she's here on March 27th. So around that February,
Yes.
March timeframe, we seem to have Camille on because of her expertise in the tax field. So as that introduction goes there, Camille, please share
Thank
with
you.
us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then why you do what you do.
Right, right. Well, hi everybody. I consider myself a friend of the show. I'm very, very blessed and thankful to be here again. Camilla Franklin Daney. I'm enrolled agent. For all of you that don't know, enrolled agents are represented and authorized by the Internal Revenue Service to represent taxpayers in all 50 states. And so it's a little bit less. Well, I don't want to say less, but it's similar to a CPA in that CPAs, they have a more broader aspect in the accounting industry. They do attestation audits. They also do tax. They also do accounting. Whereas enrolled agents, they specifically do tax related matters. So we do have a more involved role in that case. We can represent you in any tax problems you may have. That has come up a lot this year. And so, yeah, that's what we really do. But I also do tax compliance, which includes bookkeeping and includes virtual CFO services. I also now do ITINs for individuals that are not United States citizens and they need numbers to be able to file a return or to be able to open a bank account. We also can do that for you. We also offer notary services and loan signing agent services. So we're just well rounded, anything regarding business, but especially tax. And it is tax season now. We specialize in tax for people that are in media, music, and creative entrepreneurship. But we do taxes for all, but that's what we specialize in. For entrepreneurs right now, what one tip top of mind would be to think about first of all, later on down the line, are you thinking of retiring? This is a good option for people who want to save in the short term and utilize that and have money. When you get older. But the thing of it is, you really need to talk to a financial planner or a tax planner to find out if that's in your best interest. Because what I'm finding out now, because I just turned 50, so now my clientele that I've been with, they're also older. And so we're finding that people who are of Social Security age, if you have other income, if you haven't done the proper planning, sometimes you run into owing because now your Social Security becomes taxable because you didn't realize that these retirement funds that you have been putting up all these years is also taxed, and then it generates a tax. So really take a look at your situation, your whole situation over this year, not only this year, but next 10 years, next 15. A lot of people that I've done over the years, now their children are aging out, so now you're in a whole totally different bracket because you no longer get credits. We have that. The last couple of years there have been credits that people have received. They've been given child tax credit more. Now it's back to the regular number. So everybody's either tax, debt, or refund. Refunds are lower than they have been the last couple of years, and tax due has been higher. In addition to that, you want to take a look at your W-4 if you're an employee, because that's another thing I have seen where when Trump first was in office and they changed the W-4, I believe that was back in 2000, and that probably was maybe about 3 years ago, where they changed that W-4. And so now what happened was they changed the way that the withholding goes. And so you may not have done anything, but the withholding tables have changed. And so now we're finding that they have not been taking enough money out of people's paychecks. And so that is another reason why people are owing. That is kind of that's been taking people by surprise, and so just my next tip would be to check with your human resources department if you're an employee, and make sure that they're taking enough out of your paychecks. Look at your paycheck every week and see how much your federal withholding is. And so, for instance, if you make I'm just going to say $1,000 every 2 weeks or something like that, and they're taking less than $100 out, they're not even taking 10%. And that's the lowest tax bracket for an individual. So if they're not taking 10% out of your check, they're probably not taking enough. Now, that's not to say sometimes people don't have anything taken out because you might have credits and things like that. But since this is an issue, I would just suggest that people, take a look at what their W-4 is and what their withholding is. IRS has a withholding, what do you call that, calculator that you can take a look at it also and see if they're taking enough out. So those are the things that have been going on this year. It's been pretty crazy.
I should say that
word. Yeah.
Withholding calculator. I like that. That's a good tip for you to use that, because I do know some people who play the switch game.
Yeah. They do it.
They play the switch game, but you don't want to keep playing with stuff, especially when laws change and you don't understand how they change. And then you come tax season, you realize, you thought you was going to get X, Y, and Z, but then yet you owe, or you didn't get what you thought you were going to get. Yeah. And we know how our people can be. We spend money before it come, and we're like, we were counting on a refund. Really, you should never do that. Ever. That would be my tax tip. Do not count on a tax refund ever.
Right. Don't count until you get the check or the direct deposit in your bank account.
Exactly. And please don't have it already spent. Invest it. That is an opportunity that instead of paying something or buying something, invest if you get a refund every year. And that'll be something maybe we'll talk about a little later. But I really appreciate all of that that you shared. When we come back from this brief break about all of the amazing events that we have in this first segment going on in our community, we're going to get into some of a conversation about the tax itself and tax season, as well as getting to know a little bit more about Camilla, the person. We'll be right back.
All right. Okay.
Education and BUF of Michigan Adventures in Literacy Program, January through June 15th, 2024. Only on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. 25900 Greenfield Road, Suite 140, Oak Park, Michigan, 48237. Target audience ages 10 to 16. The program is free, Register today at bufmi.org.
Operation Refuge, now enrolling, the after-school boost. Kindergarten through 12th grade. The boost offers homework help, reading enrichment, building social skills, and more. Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. The program is free. Contact Barbara Green at 313-380-0408 for more information.
Office Hours with Crystal L. Gunn, Financial Strategist. Your daily dose of financial empowerment. Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join the journey towards financial wisdom and small business mastery.
Friday night decompression session with Sonia M. Weaver and Jason Integrity. Celebrate the wins, let go of the stress, vent, share, and encourage. From 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Register today on Alignable.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, search for Deals with Bob and click the subscribe button.
And we're back. So, Camilla, before we went away, I know we talked about you being this phenomenal tax diva, which hence the name is so appropriate. But what other phenomenal areas do you have under your hat? What other hats do you wear?
Girl, I'm a serial entrepreneur, first of all. You know me personally, whoever's on here, like this. All right. So I told you I did notary. So now I'm a loan signing agent where if you ever need someone to come in and notarize any mortgage related documents, we can do that. Regular notary, general notary services. I'm a licensed health and life insurance agent. So life insurance is vitally important. Like a lot of us in this community don't really value life insurance, but life insurance is an important part of your wealth planning and your financial planning, because you don't want to always go to GoFundMe and the way that people are getting out of here, passing away, kids, people that are 20 and 30, you want to have life insurance set up. You don't want to have to come up with money at the last minute. And then, let's just say you are 30 and you got 2-3 kids and now somebody has to take care of them. At least if you have life insurance, if you did it right, you might have $500,000 and that takes care of your kids. You can, like you said, put that in the savings, a high yield savings. They can live off of the interest,
Yes.
So we just need to listen to that. But I am a life insurance and health insurance agent. I'm also a vocalist. I'll sing with a reggae band, sing at different things. So that's another reason why I specialize for tax and bookkeeping, accounting for people that are in media and music, because I have a good idea of those things that are important to that industry. And I worked in media, a TV station, local market TV station for maybe 15 years altogether throughout my whole tenure in a couple of different stations. And so I do have a good idea about how media works and how someone who is maybe in the media industry, what they can deduct, if they're self-employed or if they're advertising agencies and things like that. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. Yeah.
I want to make sure I put that on there because, maybe you are not in need of the tax services, but there's so many things that Camilla, like she said, offers that you could potentially use or benefit from. And if not you directly, I'm sure someone in your circle, if they say something, I wanted you to be like, oh, wait a minute, there was this phenomenal person on the show who said she did X, Y, and Z. So thank you for sharing that, Camilla.
No problem.
One thing I wanted to go back to and actually put a little extra on there regarding the life insurance.
Okay.
Because we are talking about people who might be entrepreneurs, or maybe you are looking at transitioning from a corporate setting or a 9-to-5 setting into full-time entrepreneurship. Here's the thing. A lot of people, they'll depend and only have life insurance via their employer, and they don't get life insurance because they like, oh, I have life insurance from my job. But you never know what might happen 10, 15, 20 years down
Yeah.
the road. You start this job in your 20s, then find out that your true passion and purpose in your 40s, but yet now your life is different. Your
Right.
health is different, or something
Right.
is different. You're just older. It's
Yeah.
different. So, you really want to take advantage of life insurance early on. You
Yeah.
want to look at a diverse book of life insurance.
Hmm.
So I'm not an advocate of one or the other.
Right.
I'm an advocate
Neither really.
of diversing. So that
Yeah.
would be like whole life, that would be like term, that would be life insurances that you can do a lot more with,
Right.
so that you have a diverse portfolio when it comes to that. But don't just rely on your job. I mean, because heaven forbid, you never know, your job could even let you go.
Your
And
job is shut down. How about that?
right,
Your job could not be in existence anymore. So there goes everything that you have put in, you
exactly. And
know.
then hunting for
Yeah.
something comparable later in life may be out of, reach for you financially. So, I'm glad that you
Yeah.
mentioned that, even though we
Yeah.
were talking about taxes. But is there something within the life insurance arena that kind of meshes with people's taxes, or anything maybe they don't know? That I'm just asking because I know people don't
I
relatively
mean,
get life insurance, but if you can have some type of incentive during tax time or something, maybe. Or
well, I mean, we always are down for a financial analysis. I mean, financial analysis is there's no cost to that. So I mean, and the financial analysis is not just someone trying, because I understand why. I wish when I was younger, like when I was younger, my daughter was newborn. I got a life insurance policy. It was a whole life insurance policy, and I wasn't able to keep on it. I mean, I was a single parent, and when times get hard, you have to cut out some bills. And at the time, I felt like the insurance wasn't a necessary bill, so I end up letting it last. But if I would have had that insurance now that I'm 50, that would have been um money. That would have been
yeah,
something that you can rely on. Like a lot of people say, well, okay, your life insurance is, you can make that your own bank. And it's a lot of confusion surrounding that. I mean, because life insurance is not an investment vehicle per se, but
right,
sometimes you can get a term, depending on who you deal with, you can get a term life insurance and then invest the rest. You can have people that are financial planners so that they're looking at your whole
mhm,
situation.
right,
Per se, life insurance isn't really going to, as far as taxes are concerned, as an individual, give you anything deductible. But if you're an employer, up to $10,000 usually that may be deductible. Or if you're an employee, you get life insurance as a benefit, and then you don't have to pay for it. Those are kind of like some of the things. But I mean, you really want to think about it, because the reason why they say it's a bank, because you probably can um, loan yourself money against it.
right,
But like, to me now, they're pushing the life insurance more than they're pushing 401ks, because what I was talking about before, where 401ks later on become taxable income. And so now they're pushing you towards, okay, we need you to put into a Roth, do a
right,
Roth IRA, do a Roth type of thing, so that you don't have to worry about this later, because they're realizing that's the better plan,
right.
especially the way that people are now, more self-employed. Just the world has kind of changed than what they were back in the 90s. But yeah, I would always suggest to have a diverse portfolio, and you want to um you want to just make sure whoever you're dealing with, you get the cost, because the cost, a lot of people feel like if you're getting whole life insurance, or if you're getting that those IUL policies or whatever, they're expensive. They feel like the person who's providing the services, the agent or the broker, are the ones getting the money. But you want to make sure that who you're dealing with is actually makes that difference. Everybody is not the same.
That's
Okay.
true.
Yeah, everyone is not the same. So just be informed and read, because I find a lot of people don't really read. You know what I mean? They listen to this and listen to that, but read exactly. You know, it might be a lot of pages, but just take an hour and just try to read. And whatever you don't understand, call them. Like I call my I have life insurance for myself, and I have a life insurance agent and brokers that I deal with. I'll get on the phone calling them like, okay, I don't understand this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or this person has asked that. And they have to sit down and they'll make, you know, if you have the right people, they'll sit down with you and they'll explain it to you and they'll break down where money is what, you know. Yeah.
Don't
Sure.
allow that classroom fear, because I know a lot of people got that classroom fear that they will be like, I don't raise my hand and ask questions and just go about not knowing.
Right.
You know, it's best to always, like you said, to read for yourself, make sure you understand what you're reading, and ask when you don't know.
Right.
So, Camille, when we come back, I'm going to have actually direct information regarding Tax Divas so that we can, you know, make sure people know how to get in contact with you, how to connect with you, and what's all going on.
Okay.
So give us a moment where we take a break. We'll be right back.
All right.
Grab your tribe or family for Financial Flawless Nights with Crystal L. Gunn. Topics include efficient and effective budgeting, credit 101 and beyond, breaking generational curses and more. Schedule your ladies' night or family night today.
Grand Writing 101, turn your dreams into reality. Saturday, March 30th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Techtown, Detroit, for 40 Burrough Street, Detroit, Michigan 48202. $40 per person, limited seating.
Girls of Color Zoom Chat presented by BUF of Michigan. Empowering youth for everyday success. Saturday, March 30th, 2024 from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Register by Thursday, March 28th. Registration is required to attend.
Fathers on a Mission, Inc. presents our 4th annual Daddy's Little Sweetheart Dance. Thursday, April 4th, 2024 from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. $60 per daddy-daughter and $20 for additional daughters. 1111 Event Studio, 27690, Middle Belt Road, Farmington Hills, Michigan, 48334. 3 years of age and older. Register on Eventbrite.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, search for Deals with Bob and click the subscribe button.
Welcome back. So as promised, Tax Divas. Let us know, how long has Tax Divas been in existence?
Well, Tax Divas has actually been in existence since 2004. But I originally, you know, was part of a franchise, so that was my back end name, or that was the actual business name. But after I came out of the franchise, we have been at the Puritan location independently since 2014. So this is my 10-year anniversary. Yeah, actually, we've been rocking over there for 10 years now.
Awesome. How awesome. So how did you, well, you said it was a franchise. So did you get started in the tax industry under then the franchise, or were you kind of doing taxes and then looked into franchising?
Well, what happened was I was laid off. I had a bachelor's degree and I was working in IT. You know, I had an IT degree. And so I was doing that work, and the .com bubble burst and I was laid off a couple of times actually. And so I was trying to figure out what to do. I was always decent at taxes, you know. I knew how to do them, you know, for family and friends and things like that. And I was looking for something else to do. And actually, my original degree was already in business, and the IT degree was a business degree, but at first it was supposed to be accounting, but I switched it. Okay. And so I had already had that background. So I was approached by some people in a couple of different ways. And so then this one franchise, you know, they kind of won me over, and I was laid off anyway. So I went through and did their program. I worked into the office. I worked at Jackson Hewitt for a couple of years under some people, and then I worked at Liberty Tech, which is a franchise that I was part of for a year. And then after that, I was able to have my own franchise, and I did that for about 5 years. Um, and then you always have these things. It's very competitive in the tax industry, so they make you sign a non-compete. So I didn't really do too much of anything for a while, and then when I decided to start back up, I started up on Puritan. So yep, that's how I got started. And I in between the time, I went back to school and got my accounting degrees, including the master's. And then I went on, and got the certificate in the enrolled agent designation and different certifications and stuff like that. So
Awesome,
um,
awesome. So
yeah.
what I want people to hear is, because people have a tendency to only see what they see in the last 20 seconds. Okay. So, okay, Camilla is smelling her roses. She's getting her fruit. She's planted the seeds though. And she's
Amen.
worked the ground and toiled the
Amen.
soil. And now she's reaping a harvest. And so people just seeing the harvest. So I'm glad that you walked us through the process, because there's so many people who go think like, oh, okay, so she tax service just blew up, or how did her tax service blow up? And she, because she's been in the game, she's
Yeah.
had the hits, she's went through the trials, she's had to get back up, and through all of that actually went back to school and got some additional education. So there's a lot in which she's
Yeah.
done. And so we need to celebrate, like, woo, woo, woo.
Thank you. I give it all to God. I give thanks to God, because it's always God's guidance. I mean, everybody doesn't believe in God, but there's always a higher power, and there's always energy that you put out there, and different things that if affirmations and different things that you put out there comes back to you. So if you constantly feeding something, like you said, you constantly soiling something, you constantly watering it, it'll come back to you if you put all your interest in it and all your energy in it. And so that's kind of what I've done, to get to where I am, and I thank God for it. And, always put God first, or inside of your business or inside of your life, and then you'll be guided to what your purpose is in life. And so, I'm always trying to make sure I'm doing what my purpose is, and finding it more every day, actually, so
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So March 27th, April 15th. That's a few weeks in between. For those who haven't filed yet, what tips, advice, or should you say, what should they be gathering? What should they be doing to make sure that they hit that deadline? Hopefully,
Okay.
not the night before.
Well, first of all, if you don't think you have all your items yet, or stuff is up in the air, do the extension. It's only a 1-page thing that you have to do. Even if you just do it through TurboTax, do an extension, so that way you won't be subject to a penalty if you owe. Now, if you expect a refund, you don't necessarily have to do an extension, and you have 3 years to claim your refund. But like I said, this year is different. A lot of people that thought they was going to get a refund because of the way the withholding is and because of the other things that have occurred, things might be different. So you might want to go on and throw that extension on there by April 15th, so that you're covered, so that your failure to file penalty won't be there. But what you want to do is gather as much as you possibly can with any items that they have sent you in the mail, any W-2s, any 1099s, people that are in business for themselves, or their sole proprietorships, or what they call gig economy, Uber drivers, what is it,
DoorDash.
Instacart, DoorDash, all those type of people that are driving. You want to go into that portal and get the mileage records that they have for you if they have them, because some of them won't issue you a 1099. Get the document that shows how much you made, because a lot of those guys that are doing the gig economy, they don't realize that the mileage that you drive is tax deductible because you're considered to be self-employed. Any and all income, even illegal, is supposed to be reported. And all worldwide income is supposed to be reported on your tax return. So you're responsible for putting that stuff on there, and that stuff is being sent to the IRS, so they know that you have it. Okay, and you don't want to get into a point where you've filed your tax return for something else that's not on it, because that sparks an audit later. Like a computerized audit. So just gather whatever documents you can, and if you need help, just make sure that you're going to a reputable person to do the tax return. If you want to venture out on your own, because I know the IRS does have, for people that are in certain states this year, they're having a free file system themselves where you can just go in and file directly through the IRS. You don't need a person. You don't need TurboTax. You just go straight into the IRS and file it directly to them. It's not in Michigan yet, but it is in certain states because it's still on a trial. But gathering of information is important. If you're self-employed, you need a profit and loss. You need to know how much income came in for the year for you some kind of way. If it's cash app, if it's cash, if it's 1099s, whatever it is, have that. And then you want to know what expenses you have. That's vitally important, because anything that you put on a tax return has to be contemporary. Well, it has to be it should be documented for audit purposes.
Right.
Okay. Now, another thing, what else should you do? If you can at least get there, if you want to, there are a lot of places where you can still, IRS still has free files. If you don't have the money, or if you're low on money to do that, you can go on and to TurboTax, or go on to some other providers, Tax Act, and if you're under a certain amount of money, I believe it might be $53,000 a year, you can file your tax return for free if you're an individual, for federal anyway, and there's a small fee for state on those websites. Try that out. And if you're unable to do that, again, we're at 733 Puritan. We also do all 50 states online. We have a tax app now. You can just upload your stuff directly to the tax app. We get it. We call you. We have a process, and generally over a 10-day period, it'd be done. Those are, you want to make sure, your children's information is protected, but usually people need your children's first and last name, the social security number, and their birthday. So make sure you have that information there. Okay. Just making sure that you keep it organized and have it available, because a lot of times I see the holdup is if there's other things that we're waiting on documents, just try to have all documents available, and able to read, not blurry, not, people upload things like, okay, I can't really read this. You know what I mean? Another thing is, if you've participated in the marketplace insurance, where you've called the 800 number to get insurance, and they subsidize your insurance payment, that's through the marketplace, and that's Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. And so when that happens, they issue you a 1095A. So what has been happening, some people don't realize that they have that. And so if you don't have, and you don't present that form when you're filing, it's going to make the return reject, and that's going to hold up your filing. It's going to hold up it being sent to the IRS. So if you have that, go ahead and call the marketplace 800 number and get a copy of it. They'll send it. I believe they'll email it to you even. So, or you can go on the portal. So those are
some great things. Those are some great tips. And before we go into our next break, I'm going to just put it up on the screen again. Tax Divas is located at 7333 Puritan in Detroit, Michigan. You can call them at 313-757-6829. Awesome. And as we get ready to go into our next segment, we got some more amazing events going on in our community. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Wild Hair Music, Max Suavo and the award-winning King Mellow Man and Mellow Runnings brings you an evening of Caribbean, soul, and reggae. Friday, April 5th from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Wild Hair, 2610 North Halsted Street, Chicago, Illinois. Advanced tickets and limited reserve table at Eventbrite and at the door. This is a boss-approved event.
Let us pamper you, we are resin with a twist. Make your own coasters, wine stoppers, cutting boards, chess pieces, and more. April 6th or April 13th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. 7145 East Davison, Detroit, Michigan, 48212. Bring appetizers, wine, or other beverages. Cost per person is $50. Deposit required to secure your spot. Proceeds go towards SGCAC Summer Camp Program.
The National Association of Real Estate Brokers, in partnership with the Church of God in Christ, presents 100 City Community Impact Day. Saturday, April 13th, 2024. Free services and classes for the community. For more information, visit www.nareblackwellthtour.com.
Detroit Book City, live book sale on Bookstore Day. Saturday, April 27th, 2024.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, search for Deals with Bob and click the subscribe button.
Okay.
Well, welcome back. So one thing that Miss Camilla talked about is that she can sing. She didn't say sing, but she can sing. And you can see her glowing most recently. This was at the Bob Marley birthday concert that King Mellow Man and Mellow Runnings was doing, or was this another group you're with?
No, this was Mellow Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, if you noticed in this segment, we had featured an event coming up for those who don't mind traveling to Chi-Town and hearing some phenomenal singing. Miss Camilla is featured soloist in that group. And so I had to definitely make sure that I had let you know. She kind of shared with you, but share with people how you actually got into singing, because some people think, okay, business is one mind and then creative artistic music is another. Like where did those two come from?
Well, I can see why they would say that, because it kind of is. But okay, so like my dad, who passed away in 2020 anyway, but he was a musician back in the 70s. He had a group called Bobby Franklin's Insanity, but he was a lifelong musician, and so music was just in our household. Like my grandfather was a percussionist. You know, I come from a line of percussionists. He used to play with Count Basie. I'm talking about back in the 50s, you know, so that's where it comes from, you know, and so I always, you know, kind of grew up doing a little bit of background for my dad a lot of times, or sitting in with studio sessions and stuff like that. So it just moved on. You know, I've been singing with, as a freelance for my whole adult life, but over the last, is it 15 years? I've been with King Mellow and Mellow Runnings for a while. I'm grateful for that. Yep. And we travel, you know, regionally, doing reggae. You know, reggae is love. Reggae is love songs, you know, about life and about positivity and about just spreading the good word, good news, you know. And so I'm grateful for being there. You know, yep, I am a feature soloist. We're going to be in Chicago. You see that we're going to be on Chicago next week at that Wild Hair, which is a legendary space in Chicago where all the reggae, Jamaican, Caribbean type groups come to, you know, do that type of stuff. And I'm actually doing, me on my own personal project, I'm doing a dedication album for my dad and some of his original pieces. So I've done one. I recorded one, and I have a couple of more to do, but it'll be coming out soon.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. And yes, I would have to agree that the reggae, the Caribbean soul, it does something for
Yeah.
your soul. You just
Yes.
like you just, I always say when I hear it, it reminds me of vacation. And I know
Yeah.
my vacation is just a relaxing feel, and you just kind of groove into it. So I can understand
Yeah.
exactly what
It's
you're.
fun.
It
Fun
really
music.
is. It definitely is. Makes your body sway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, one other thing that people may not know is that you are a part of a sorority and you are kind of very
That is
active.
true.
So they put in the slide decks where I wanted people to know about some upcoming events
Oh
sponsored
yeah.
with your sorority. So share a little
Yes.
bit about this one.
Yes. So I'm part of the Zeta Eta Sigma Pontiac chapter of the Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Um, greater, we're all about sisterhood, greater service, and greater progress. And so we're having a self defense workshop April 6th. Thank you for putting this up here. Yeah, April 6th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And so this is for anybody who wants to come. You want to learn self defense and how to defend yourself in the event somebody's trying to attack you. That's always needed. So
Mhm.
you can scan the code there, contact me. I can put you in connection with my soror who's in charge of this as well, Tanya Williams. But definitely contact me or do the scan code and get in line to register for this. I'll be there.
Yeah, what I would
Yep.
say to the women listening, and men too, but definitely to the women listening, especially if you are a business owner. And I say this, well, we're lucky right now here in Michigan, our days are getting longer. But we live in a time where it gets dark very early.
Yes.
And as a woman closing up your business, knowing self-defense is huge, as
Mhm.
you're exiting your premises and going to your vehicles and those type of things, being able to have skills on how to make yourself less uh, victim or looking to be a victim, that you can learn at a self-defense class. It's not only how you can maneuver if you were, but even how you can take precaution when you're leaving out. How do you conceal your purse? Should it just be on
Yeah.
there and you closing with the keys? And what should you do when scanning your surroundings and all of these different things? So I really
Yeah.
thank you guys for having this event, and if you can attend, please do.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
the
Thank you.
second thing that we saw was for our future.
Yes, this is our scholarship fund, which I'm actually the chairperson for the scholarship fund for our chapter. But Erling Dowell, she's one of the people who chartered the chapter, and so this year be the first year that we're calling it the Erling Dowell Greater Service, Greater Progress Scholarship Fund. And so since our chapter is in Pontiac, this is a scholarship fund for children that are high school students in the Pontiac area. Okay. And so they're going to college. College costs a lot of money, but we're offering two $500 scholarships to people who reside in Pontiac. And thank you for getting the word out here, because last year we had it wasn't as many people as we thought would apply. So we're looking for people to apply. So if you think you qualify, please um, apply by May 3rd and get your application in, because we're looking to give these scholarships out to people who are, give them a little bit of help for going to college. There's a lot of little incidental type things you need when you're going to college, and your parents don't always have it, especially in Pontiac, different populations that are lower income and they don't have the opportunities that other areas in Oakland County would have. So
Mhm.
please, yeah, get your application in if you're in the Pontiac area. Yes.
Awesome. And what I will say is sometimes high school students, we focus it on the big,
Yeah.
scholarships, and I'm gonna tell you, my grandmother used to say, "Pennies make dollars."
Don't they?
So
Yes.
whenever you see an opportunity for scholarship, and if you qualify for, do what's necessary to get it in there.
Yes.
You can stack up so much just in scholarship monies that
Mm-hmm.
you might cover your entire year. You just
Yeah.
never know. So yes, take advantage of every single opportunity that is out there for you when it comes to those monies for school. We definitely believe in it. Definitely. So,
Yeah.
Camilla, we'll be winding down into our last segment, and before we do that, we do have a couple more events, and then we'll be going into our last segment for this evening. So, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right.
Juneteenth 2024 Book Fair presented by Detroit Book City. Saturday, June 22nd from 12 noon to 5 p.m. at the Historic Community Church, 8601 Woodward Avenue, Detroit, Michigan 48202. Free admission, RSVP on Eventbrite.
BUF of Michigan Sonorum's Future Doctors for Tomorrow's Summer Academy Program Phase 1 at Wayne State University. July 29th through August 2nd, 2024 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free enrollment, limited capacity. Register online at buffme.org/SNORMS. Deadline to register is May 17th.
CE Aviation Career Education presented by BUF of Michigan. Multiple dates and locations. June 24th to 27th, July 8th to 12th, and August 5th to 9th. Register today. The deadline for registration is April 30th, 2024.
Thank you to all the organizations featured doing amazing things in the community. Let us support you and your event by adding it to our Stay Connected segments. Visit www.dealswithbob.com and contact us today.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, search for Deals with Bob and click the subscribe button.
Well, welcome back. As we go into our last segment, there's a few things that I always ask that I want people to know, because it's things that inspire them. I do this not only so that people could know the phenomenal work that you do, but for them to connect to you as a person, and most importantly, the why of what you do. But we know that why is what keeps us going, and sometimes when things get difficult. So my question to you is then, how do you stay encouraged?
Oh, wow. How do I stay encouraged? Well, first of all, my faith has grown a lot. I stay encouraged by, every day kind of journaling. That people take that for granted, but like just getting your feelings out there, like in a journal in the morning, how do you feel? And then do some positively affirmations, and then you like read a couple of Bible verses, things that are positive. If you keep that out there, that you stay encouraged. And then, with the affirmations, you can also write what your goals are, revisiting them, what you want to see. Like I am, if you want to be a CPA, I am a CPA. I'll be a CPA as of this day. Or I'm thankful and grateful that I have grossed $300,000 this year, as an example, or things like that every year, and just doing that repetitiously. And then just, I'm really big with affirmation. I didn't got to the point, I don't know if you've heard of different people now, but there are these affirmation artists. Like one is Tony Jones. She's from the Detroit area too. And so it's records where they're speaking positivity. They have, and so I listen to stuff like that more now. And to stay encouraged. And then, if you get down too much, you can speak to a friend, someone though that's not a down, not like that's not a hater, somebody that's a encourager, or somebody that that you can, that's your rock. You like, lately it's been my husband. Since I've been married, it's like, you know what, I just can't do this no more. I'm just not good enough, or I'm just not doing this, or this, that, and the other has happened today. It's been hard. He's like, no, you got this. Now, you're good enough. you're a good person or whatever. They just encourage you. You know what I mean? And so when you have somebody in your corner to encourage you, then you also stay encouraged. And then you also sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Come to yourself. But it's all about what you're feeding in your body. So then when you're alone and those bad feelings, imposter syndrome, when your mind starts playing tricks on you, or somebody says something real heavy to you, you come back to you like, no,
right.
I have that. You know what I mean? It comes right back to you. Remember, because it's like a muscle.
Exactly.
So that's what I do. I'm back. Matter of fact, you can even be down, like you can cry, but you be like, I didn't cry. I'm back now.
Gotta come back.
I'm back. I'm down, but I never quit. You can be down. People can take you down, and especially in certain industries, they can take you down, but you're like, you know what? I'm not quitting. You just have it in your mind. I'm not quitting.
I love it.
Quit. You know what I mean?
It.
Yeah.
And what I will add to it is for those who are business owners / entrepreneurs, and like Camilla said, no haters, but you definitely got to get a couple of strong, supportive business owners / entrepreneurs in your circle as well. Because the ones that love you and that have good intentions and that do root for you, they don't want to see you hurting, and they don't understand the entrepreneurship journey. So they'll be like, well, maybe you should just go back to that office or go back to, to this, because that's more safe. So they're really thinking that they're giving you the advice to help. But if you truly have a goal that's in the, business owner arena, then you have to have those people who understand some of those challenges. They can help, keep you inspired. Like, that's part of the game, girl. Come on, we can get you through it, type of thing. So
now that is true.
Thing I would add to it.
Yeah, that is true. Now I will say, like my partner Sonya Baker. I don't know if she's on here, but like people that are like-minded, because a lot of times, like you said, your family and friends or people that know you, they don't understand why you're doing it. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. It's late nights, early mornings, no money. Doing stuff that's out of the ordinary, but people that are also doing it and they understand you, they can pick you back up, when, you didn't spend this money and now you didn't lost it. You're like, okay, I'm done with this. I can't keep doing it. They're like, no, you got this. Just wait. Next month is coming, next month is coming. And you'll have actual, some of your clients too, when you build that relationship, they'll build you up, because you'll find out, they just for you. They just loyal. You know what I mean? They don't care what you do. They just loyal. And that kind of keeps me going too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm with you. I don't care what happens. I don't care if that is better, it's cheaper, or whatever. No, I'm with you. You'll build a relationship with people.
Yeah. Relationship, which is another reason why we have the program, so that people connect with people, not just the product and the service. It's about us building and having relationship with one another. So as we wind down into these last few minutes, I want to know these last questions. What book is currently on your nightstand, or that you've recently read or would highly recommend reading? How can people connect to you? And then any final remarks?
Okay. Well, the book, it's not now, but it's one that is of my remembrance, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's called Diary of a Hip Hop Artist. So I'm in a book club, and so we read a lot of different books, but this particular book is from a hip hop artist from back in the 90s and 2000s, and she talks about her journey, and but it's also about how she made it through an abusive relationships and all these different what she has gone through, because she was in that highly male testosterone type of industry, having to be a publicist and dealing with different things. And so she takes you through all these different changes that she went through. And so we ended up interviewing her for our book club, and she is just phenomenal. She does a lot for the community and everything. I can get her name out. But you can get me at Tax Divas on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok now. Also, Camilla Franklin EA are also my call letters. TaxDivasDetroit.com. Our phone number is 313-757-6829. And my email is Camilla, CAMEA, at Tax Divas, that's TaxDivas.org.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. And what was the last question?
If you have any, you
Uh,
don't have to, but if you have any final remarks.
okay. The only other thing I would mention is that we also do free tax returns for senior citizens. So if they have Michigan State rent credit or home heating credit and they're over the age of 62 and they don't have anything else, we will do that for free for them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Her name is Lynn Hobson. Yep, Lynn Hobson is the person that wrote that Diary of a Hip Hop Artist. Yeah,
Diary of a hip hop artist. Awesome. Awesome. Well,
yeah,
thank you again, Camille, for being on tonight's show. It again was an awesome conversation, as I
yeah.
knew it would be. Great tips, things that I did not know. The tax season changes constantly, constantly. So thank you for coming on and sharing those tips for the people like me who kind of wait towards those last few weeks. I'm never the first one to jump on
That's
as soon as the W-2 come on on the scene. I've never been that person. So thank you for sharing all of the information that's out there as it becomes for those people who are going to be filing in the next couple of weeks or might even need to file that extension and to
yes.
do it even to be safe. Because you might with the changes. So we appreciate all that you had to share with us this night.
Thank
I want
you.
to also say thank you to our core businesses that have supported Deals with Bob on tonight's show. I thanking the Amazing Woman Network, Detroit Metro Plug Podcast, Tax Divas, and Bright Tech Communications. If you have not already done so, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You might think you're a subscriber, but you're not. So go ahead and check to make sure by doing the search for Deals with Bob when you're on YouTube. And if you're not, then click that subscribe button and become a subscriber today. When you are a subscriber, it allows us to have a further reach for this amazing content and let people connect to some amazing Bobs. Again, I want to say happy Wednesday. I am your host, Sonia M. Weaver. It's been a pleasure. As always, I encourage you to spend with purpose because your dollar does matter and deal with Bob. I want you to have an amazing week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.